And I'm live. That is cool. Today is 29th of March 2026, Sunday. And before beginning, as usual, a quote from Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Okay, let's say this one. This says, let no man any longer hear thee finding fault with the court life or with thy own. Okay, what does that mean? Let no man any longer hear thee finding fault with the court life or with thy own. So do not complain with how you are living and how the world is working on. And shit, 1 second, let me fix this. Restart capture. Yep, makes sense. Now it is working. Cool. And yep, we have to make progress on the TUI written in Go. Yep, this is our like, and this is the code that has been written. Till now, we have to work on how to make a WebSocket and yep, how to make a WebSocket, how to write on open handler for the WebSocket, and how to write on message handler, and the library that we are using for this, which is named bubble tea. It has this model structure which is like a React state, and here we have a single model which we have to define beforehand, which will have not just the state about your current thing which is visible right now, but the whole state of your whole TUI has to be defined right here at the start. So, yep. And since we have divided, uh, wait, let me stop the video here. Yep. And since we have divided this into different pages, one is the select game page, and then there is going to be loading screen. And because when you start your game will not start immediately, there has to be some loading for another player to start a game. And then there is the play screen and the end screen, and these different pages have their own states. We already have defined the state for this select game type page, which is going to be a list of strings where each string is a type of game that the user can play, like rapid, blitz, and bullet. And then this is like a indicator index which tells which of those states is selected right now. And we need a game object which has all of these things which will be shown on the board. It is going to be the board itself, then a number, like which move we are at currently, a list of moves with the same format as the backend, which is a self, like, yeah, which is the format, and time left for the black person and time left for the white person, not person but player. And then socket response, the response which is given to us by the socket is of type this. And since in Go we cannot have a nil value for a variable, we cannot have a type and also a nil value. We do not have a indication whether this variable that we are getting, is it initialized or the value is not there, like optional. We cannot have optional options in a struct. Therefore, we have used here a pointer to those values. So we can check if the pointer is nil, then there is no value, and otherwise we can just look at it. Cool. And cool. Now we have to make progress. Actually start a game. WebSockets. Yep. So this is the place that we will run, and yep, this function will do everything. We will call this function, and this function will run on a Go routine. This function will run on a Go routine after when we are here. Start socket m. Yep. When we are here, when we press enter, in the selection page, we will start, we will call this function as a go routine. And right now we are getting error, cannot use m variable of struct type model as a model pointer because we are using this as a pointer. We need a pointer to the model to get the latest values from the model, because I do not know how closures work in Go. Let's see how closures work in Go. Yes, I think there are closures in Go. And if I were to not give in here this variable, if I as a address, as a pointer, but instead as a direct variable, then we would get this function being called every time with this value of m and not the latest value of m. Okay, and so if I have a function that takes in a struct, that takes in a struct, shit, and this would also depend on the fact whether we are sending a copy of the object or the object itself. Yeah. In Go, if I have a function that takes in a struct and then call that function as a Go routine, and then we call that function as a Go routine, with struct. I have now two questions. Questions one would be, is the function getting a copy or a reference to the same struct? And second question would be, uh, if the struct changes, is updated by the main thread, we could call it, by the main thread, while that Go routine is still running, will we get the updated value on the routine function, yep, that would be the question. Go struct passing Go routines copy versus reference when you pass a struct by value or to a function Go routine or not, it gets a copy. Okay, shit, a struct is copied. Okay, by pointer Go routines get a reference to the same struct. Okay, when we pass object to a function in Go, we give it a copy. Okay, will the Go routine see updates from the main thread? No, it depends on how you updates the struct. If we pass by value, then no update. If we pass by pointer, then the update is visible, but dangerous how pointer equals shared memory. Yep. Data race unless you synchronize access with a sync mutex. But we do not need a mutex in this case because, yep, yeah, we do not need a mutex in this case. It does not concern us here, because when a socket is active, we want our function to keep running. Yes, and our, yeah, it is cool. It is cool. We do not need mutex here. Right approach is using mutex. No, mutex is not our problem. Okay, cool. So run start socket function when a user presses enter, and yep, set the state to, first of all, status pointed to a model, go to the model and work, establish a connection, defer, close, and also differ close, we also need a on close handler, so that when the function close, we want to just end, yep, close this go routine when the function closes. For which simply means we need to get break out of this loop. Okay. After changing the status to loading and starting web socket, hopefully we do open handler. When the thing opens, when our socket opens, we get a game object, and we have to set that game object there. Go to the game object, update our game object in our model so that it can be shown on the screen. Yep, update the state. Then on message handler, when a message comes, this is just a legit for loop. Read the message, get the message as a text, then parse the response, get a message variable which is of type socket response, parse it using json.unmarshal, json.unmarshal this thing, unmarshal this message into this message, and if there is no error, then cool. If there is no error, then cool, and we can manually close the connection. If we can manually close the connection at the end here, exit if connection is closed. Here connection dot is open, is it a thing? Close var close, shit. How to check and go if WebSocket connection is open or not? How to do that? Wait, maybe I think I messed up. No, cool. I didn't mess up. We already had a chat here, replacing syntax, file formats, git commit, learning Go programming fundamentals, Nick. The shit. Where is WebSocket? Shit. I guess we don't have that chat. Or it is this one. Yep. Cool. Um, either the WebSocket connection is closed by us or it is closed by the other person on the other side. How to check whether the connection is still on or not? How do you do that? Function go, yep, keep this return, just like return. If error is not equal to nil, connection is closed or broken, or it may be okay. Shit, that makes sense. So I guess this function blocks the thread actively detecting dead connections via ping pong. Message read only fires when a message arrives. If you want to actively check the connection is alive, no, we do not want to actively check. Okay, shit. Okay, that is cool. Close the connection and return. But we don't actually have to close. Yeah, close. Okay, return. Cool. parse the response. Yep, in this format. And we now need to make our state, our model, a bit more complicated so that this thing knows what kind of response are we getting. And there are four kinds of responses that we could be getting from the backend. uh, yep, there are four kinds. How do we write a multi-line comment and go? Cool. Okay, this is the correct indentation somehow. Read response unreachable code. How is this unreachable? Okay, four kinds of message we could be getting. One is start of game. Second is move made by other player. Third would be move con- confirmed for the user by backend. And fourth would be end of game. How do we differentiate? How do we know which condition it is right now? First of all, for start of game, we could have a simple variable for this thing. Yep, we could have a simple, which we do already have a simple variable. If you are getting a socket response from the backend and the dot status is status is loading, and we are getting something from the backend. That means we just like the game has started right now. But I guess we should do this before parsing the input because both the things return a different kind of response with a different format here. Or maybe not. Let me see. Start anonymous game. This thing returns a response like this, which is start game response, which is different. Start game response is different, and we are somehow not using time here. Start game, should we are not using time? Why are we not using time here? We should be using time here, but okay, we'll get to that later. Start game response, and here get response post move, given all of this, which returns move socket response type, which is different from start game response. So first of all, we should check whether we are in a game or not. Okay. Yep. If we are inside a game, then yep, we have to update the color of the current player and some other stuff. Hello, shit. Saurabh, yes. What's up? Go TUI working, and shit, I just got a very deja vu feeling, and I yes, I got hit by a very strong feeling of deja vu right now, and I think you are going to send a few more messages here, and yep, something like this. And I also saw this in my vision right now. Crazy stuff. Okay, and now we know that the game has not started yet, so the server must be telling us that you can start a game, because we can always trust the server, but not the other way around. Front end can trust the server, but the server cannot trust the front end. Okay, if go to status is loading, we need a different format to pass the message. Socket response is defined here. Type game start socket response is going to be a struct of some type, and we should probably rename this to game active socket response. And the type of this start game response is just three variables. Boolean color shade. Yep, we need to have a color type. It makes sense. We need to have a color type. We need to have a color type. We do not have a color type. Yeah, I guess my deja vu was wrong. We do not have a color type. Colors.go. This is different. Can I rename this? I cannot rename. No. Yeah. Enums. Yeah. Colors. Cons. White equals white and black equals black. Cool. White equals white and black equals black, and then we get struct string. Okay. Bool. Opponent name is also a string. Cool. Yep. And this is the format in which we have to read our message. Parse the response here. Game start socket response, parse it like this, and check for errors. And if no errors, if we know that the game has started, then we have three things here. We have to change the status. We have to change our model of game here. I guess having the model in some different place would be cool. Not here, in some different place would be pretty cool. Just clean up this thing and only have this part here. Cool. This will be named model.go main paste all this stuff and make the correct imports. Lip gloss. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. And now we update our model. Game play and gameplay page. On this we will have our game object struct. Yep. Which just has board and all this. And we also need color of the current player, which is going to be a string. And that would be it. That would be it. Opponent name would be cool to have here. Opponent name as a string would be cool to have here. Color and opponent name, which we get from the request start response sent by the WebSocket. Cool. Cool. So we have three things from this thing. Dot status equals status play. Started true. That is not a field on this game object. Update the game object. Opponent name are these legit types. Yep. Wait. Started is a variable. We do not need started. Message dot white time left dot. Yes, shit. Yes, we have to calculate white time left and black time left here. Yep, we have to calculate this depending on the game type of game that we have started. Yep. If, or we can use a switch here. Switch go to m dot, and which thing has like more priority. Uh, does this precedence in go for this and dot method operator, which one has more precedence or priority? The dot operator has higher precedence than this. What does that mean? And this thing is evaluated to go to this, okay, which we do not want. So we do this dot type selected, cool, which is an integer. Okay, shit, before making this request we have to give a few things in the query parameter. We have to give the color that we want to play as. Yep, question mark color equals random is cool. Random is a cool color to have, and a few more things are needed. APIs, plugins, auth plugin is, yep. Here we need color, time, and increment. Color, time, which we have to calculate. Increment can also be 0. Type, we have to calculate time based on type, or time equals 0, let's say. Which depends on, yep, which depends on the type of game selected. Switch go to m dot game type selected, which gives us a index where we can go to by game types. Cool. Case rapid, which is a variable. Yes, cool, no error. Rapid, which is a variable. If we have a rapid game, then this much time. In case of blitz, Or maybe we can make this a function, a different function, a function which takes in this game object and gives us the time. So I guess making a separate thing here, to helper package main and a function. Init game struct is not the right name. Shade. Hello. Kausa. Hello. Sup. Shade. Hello. From website to TUI na? Yep. Hello. I started to build my own Git clone. Share from the thing by code crafters. Build your own X. But there are some problems. I'm reading about book about Git internals. That is cool. And GPT is saying that I should also know the file handling, reading, and writing. I don't know the Git handling, how to read files and how to compare thousands of files at the same time is crazy. And it is very fast. I don't know how Git manages it. It is saying to learn OS modules and sys too. If you want to optimize, you would have to read OS modules. But I guess you can start slow and optimize later on, because as the saying goes, premature optimization is the root of all evil. It is like, yes. So you can optimize later on, just like build something right now. And also, if you want to learn about Git, a very cool place is boot.dev, which is taking time to load. Boot.dev, they have a Git course, learn Git, which is very cool, and it is given like the instructor in this course is the Primogen, Mr. Primogen, and he is very good at what he is explaining. He is explaining the internal things, that there is an internal tree structure in Git, and also there is a part 2 of this, and also there is a YouTube video which is 4 hours 20 minutes long, which goes along with the same thing. OS modules. Let's go here. TUI, a function which takes in get time function. Yep. Shit. Get time function which takes in a pointer to a module, pointer to a model, or the model itself. It can take the model and return an integer. Shit, int. Wait, int is not there. Yep, it has to come in this. And yep, this is like one of the quirks or cool things about Go. Here in the second parentheses, you have to give the return type. You can simply write integer like this, or you could name the return type, which is very unnormal. And what this does is it initializes a time variable, which you can just say time equals 0, and when you do return, this thing will be returned automatically. But if you do not name this thing, then there is error, which is, yeah, not very good. And also, uh, you cannot reinitialize this thing, because not even technically, literally the time variable is initialized here. Okay, let's say time is equal to 0, and now switch. Shit. Switch m dot game types, m dot game type selected. And we have different cases. Rapid AI. Wait, I guess writing the number directly is not very helpful, not very readable. Rapid is 10 minutes long. 10 minutes into 60 to get the number of seconds, into 1000 to get the number of milliseconds. There are 1000 milliseconds in a second. Yes, I think. And here in blitz the number of is 3 and this is 1 minute long. Cool. This function will return the time which we can use. Yeah, time equals get time. Call this with m, and here shit. How do we format a string? To format a string, wait, we don't have to format the string. I think we can just do convert time to string. Does it work? Type converting like this and go. Wait, what? I've seen YouTube videos a little bit. Yeah. Like I just made a small program right now where if it checks terminal commands and your program reads the files. Like how is it working? Uh, how is it working? Your program has a copy of how the files were before and it is reading the files right now, how they look. Someone just types, it makes a dot init file. That is cool. Shit, dot init, which is equivalent to dot git file, which is actually created when you do git init. It's cool. Okay, convert num or int to string in Go question mark. Just shit. Okay, why is there a crazy function like this? Base 10 fmt dot string print. Yep, I think this is a better choice. Include the fmt thing here. Dot is print here digit and time. Cool. Okay, say const url which is of type string equals not this but the output of this. Cool. And here just pass in this url. Okay, that works. And also this is like more visible like this. Cool. On message handler and there is some error somewhere. Yep, this is error. And yep, this part is handling if we are starting the game. Handle start of game. Now after that handle active game response. Cool. For this comes in else, where else has to be on the same line like this. Cool. Handle active game response. Okay, get the response, and now there could be three possible scenarios, three kinds of requests we could be getting. Whether there was a move made by the other player, whether it is a move made by us, or it is end of game. I think there is no need to make a differentiation, a difference between these two things, at least in the handling part, because in both of these scenarios, we are getting a move which we have to make on the board that we have. And I guess it is cool. I guess it is cool to just, yeah, we don't actually have to do anything here. I guess instead of this, we should say break instead of return. We have some handling at the end here. Handle closing of socket so that we do not return but go to that those statements outside the for loop. Yep, I guess there is no differentiation that we need to make here. Yep, end game. Okay, so we can have the same handler for these two, second and third. 2 and 3 can have the same handler. Cool. Shade, hello. I then there is a command this dot argv that reads yep terminal whatever you got type there after yeah, and I gave my CS board exam so I know how to read and write files in binary using shit pickle shit but read binary write binary pickle module. Yep. And wait, so are you following the GitHub thing? Code crafters build your own X. Git here. Yeah, they do have tutorial in Python. Repo commit push itself to GitHub. That is shit. That is cool. Write your Git yourself and just enough of a Git client to create a repo, commit and push itself to GitHub. That is cool. That is actually cool. And this is not even that long compared to the complexity. Shit. Encode a package, encode a single object for a file. Pygit. Oh shit. I guess they are using a library. Pygit in most places. I try to make Pygit command like syntax be identical. Wait, or is Pygit an external library or the name of the library that they are building here? Pygit. Yep. Shit. Yep. They are building Pygit. Cool. Okay, not in depth. Cool. Like build your own stuff. That's very cool to learn the thing. And I'm also thinking about building Docker in some days after this TUI thing is done. That would be cool. Docker, maybe there is a thing. GPT and yeah, cool. Figure out on your own. There is in Docker. What languages are there for Docker? Go, yep, let's go 100 lines of Go, or we can watch a video, or maybe in Shell. If shit, maybe in Shell we can write our Docker in Shell. Docker in 119 lines of code. That is crazy. And 500 lines of C. Yeah, this whole repo is pretty cool for building stuff on your own. And what is the problem with this? A type of value string is not a constant, so change it from a constant. Cool. On open handler. Yep. Setup. Now here we can check if message dot over, if message dot not over. What is it? Invalid operation not defined on. Okay. Yep. First of all, we have to check if this thing is if over is not equal to nil, and if it is not equal to nil, then check if and yep, then go to message dot over, yeah, and check for not. Okay, handle move made. If a move was made, shit, but not over. Maybe it might be over when a move is made. Also, that could also be a reason. But anyways, okay. A move is made, and what are the things that we can expect to see when a move is made? Get response, post, move, all this stuff. When a move is made, we can expect to see error, which I guess we won't. Yeah, we should check for error also. And yeah, if not message dot error, then which I guess we should handle before because it is a common thing to handle. Error message might be there, might not be there. We don't care about it. We know that the game is not over, so and also there is no error, then there must be a move that is made, and these are the three variables that we have to concern ourselves with. What is the move, time left, white time left, and black time left? So yep, update the move, make move, and update time. Okay, if message dot move is not equal to nil, if not equal to nil, then that means there is a move which we should make on the board, which means m dot or go to m dot board inside the game object dot board make move. We write a function which makes the move? Shit, get internal book is, which book are you reading? I found something new, life, def, and delta. What is this? And one more thing I found out, I'm lagging behind because I don't know get properly. Shit, that is a very cool way to write no for KNOW. Get internal, is that the like legit name of the book? What is the name of the book? Pro Git? Well, you can do this. Use your own Git. That is something you can do. Here, either we write a function which makes the move on the board or we do not. But I guess if we were to write a function that makes the move, that function will get a copy of our board and not update the actual board. Therefore, we need to use pointers here. But I shit, is using pointers the only way to send structures by reference to functions? It pointers the only way to send structs by reference in Go. Is that the only way? Let's see. Yes, shit. Okay. channel, map, behavior, copy, copy, copy. Reference, like slice is reference. Like, okay, structure is copied because structure is stored on the stack. Okay, no pointer needed for a function that takes this. Visible outside. Okay, okay. So I guess we should change our model, or not the model, but the board from a struct to something else. But what can we use? We cannot use slice. That does not fit our test case, our use case. Array, nope. Map, nope. Channels, already a pointer internally. Map is all points to an underlying array, because slices are on the heap and arrays are fixed size and probably not on the heap but on the stack. Oh shit, no peep code. What is peep code? Or is it like shit, name of the book, get book? I'm dumb. Okay, make movie should, yeah, just make move right here. Game object dot board. Yes, shit. But before making the move, we have to destruct this move. Destruct this move and get the index of the source target of the source square and the target square. Move to index. This thing takes a move, which is a string, and returns move, which is a list of 4 integers. Cool shit. Move index. Okay, cool. And now the question is this thing move index already initialized, or do I have to use the make call on this? Let's see. Let's see. In here is the index array already initialized, or do I have to use make? I guess it is already initialized. Yes, it is already initialized with 0 values. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Mm, can you do this in Go? Index to the string. This gives, okay, in Go is the string just a simple slice of characters. If it is, then doing this is totally fine. Converting that into an integer, compiler error. Immutable, okay, that is fine. They are immutable. Slice of characters, okay, shit. A Go string is immutable and a slice is mutable, is that which is the key difference. But under the hood, a string is similar. It is a pointer to bytes plus length. Compiler error. Yep, we cannot change this, but we can change this. Cool, cool. So I guess instead here we can change the type of this thing from is pointer to a list of bytes. That is cool. Pointer to a list of bytes. Now move is a pointer to a list of bytes, and moves is a pointer. Shit. Or maybe using strings is fine. pointer to a string. Cool. And this is cool. Okay, and then the socket server. We type poop code. Shit, get internals. Replace this with e. Peep code get internals. Shit, that is the name of the book. 120-page technical thing written by a person called CHACON, one of the first employees at GitHub. Okay, that is cool. Shit. Here. Cool. Git internals. Shit. Peep code. Press. Cool. That is cool. I'll read it. Okay. Now we have to get our move index here. All move to index with go to m dot game object dot shit. It is wrong. Message dot move. But we don't have to go to message. Message is fine as it is. Yep. If there is a move, yep, get the move and make the move. Making the move looks like go to m dot game object dot board bracket. I think we can also break this up like this. Source row, source column, target row, target column. We cannot. Expected one expression. How to destruct array and go. Okay, shit, this is exactly what we are doing. Manual indexing or this shit. Why can we not do? Go does not have a built-in destructure type, so we have to manually do this. Move is this, and then source row equal source row, source column, target row, target column, move 0, move 1, move 2, move 3. And yep, update the move. Go to m dot game object dot board source row, source column, source would become nn. Cool. And shit, before this thing becoming nn, we have to also store what is there already. Means go to and copy paste. This thing becomes equal from source to target row and target column become equal to whatever was at the source place, and then whatever was at the source becomes nil. That is simple enough. So we have updated the move, and now update the time. If message dot white time left is not equal to nil, and shit, since this thing is a pointer, we have to say go to this place, but I guess yeah, we don't have to use parentheses because of the precedence. If there is white time left, then cool. Same for black time left. Substitute white with black. Cool. And there is a problem here, underlying undefined. Okay, handle made a handle, a move made. And now if the game is over, else handle game over. If the game is over, still we should do, I guess we should do all of this anyways. Yeah, yeah, we should do this like always, and just check later on whether the game is over or not. Over is not equal to null, and game over. Okay, if the game is over, then shit, hello. Uh, it GTO. What is GTO? So much in depth goes through. Shit, so much in depth topic like blob tree commit and some history about old SCM. Shit, I don't know. It's source code management. Uh, yep, but yep. Blob tree. There are two types of nodes in Git: a blob and a tree node. And Git does not track the changes that you have made over your commits. But whenever you make a commit, it goes through the whole code base and copies that whole thing and stores that, which is crazy. And there are internal commands called plumbing commands in Git, which you can use to look at this internal structure in which Git stores your files. It's cool. Okay, if the game is over, then what do we do? And also, there is a question of whenever there is a move made and we update our model, how often is the view function running? Like here in this, not in this main shade, we splitted the thing. Here we have our view method over our model, which is called to display what should be displayed. Let's say we update the model, how often? Yeah, like what is the frame rate, FPS of this view function in double t. What is the number of the view method is called on the model which we have defined? Every time the model is updated, that is every time update returns a new model. Shit, okay, we have to shit. Shit, okay, shit. But what if we are updating the model but not using the update function but something else? So view is called once on startup, and every time when updates and it returns a new model. Shit. I guess maybe we can, after updating the model, maybe we can call this update method manually. Shit, yes, I think we can call this update method manually. And this update will just return the model, but Return the current model. Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. That is cool. That is something we can do here. Like after this for loop, we can call go to m dot update. Cool. Very not enough arguments, and we pass in nil. Yes, we can. Cool. So we are calling update function after every time we are handling a message, which internally calls the view function. Or can we call the view function directly without calling the update function? Yes. Does view need any arguments? No. Cool. We can just call the view function directly. Cool. And it was made in 5 days. Yes. And by whom? Linus Torvalds. Shit. Crazy. Uh, Sprouse? No. What are his achievements? He made Linux, and he also created the distributed version control system Git in, I guess, 2005 or something. When was Git created? 2005. Shit. Okay. Cool. He did like everything. That is cool. Okay. Yep. We can, after updating our model, call the view function. Now handle end of game. End of game. What are the things that we have to update in end of game? The state would be changed to end game screen from yes, there is a game going on right now. Yep, do this. Status game over. Status end game. Change the status of the game and change the status of the game. Yes, yes. Change the status of the game and set the winner. We need to add a few things to our model here. Yep. Gameplay page. We don't need any extra variables for game loading page. Game end page. Winner. Right now, winner should be just like a string, which is going to be the name of the winner. Either it is like you or someone else. Or shit. None of us has a username because we are playing anonymously. So shit. Winner should be a boolean, and if winner is true while you are in the state of end game, that means you won the game, otherwise you lost the game. Cool. Cool. Game over. If game over, cool. What do we need to know? If message dot y over, no, share. Yes, we also need to know y over, which is a string. Yeah, so we need to update our model a little bit more. Y over is a string. Yeah, cool. Message dot, we do know that the game is over, dot winner not equal to nil. This thing is not equal to nil, which it is not equal to nil. Then we will say in our model, go to the model dot game object. No, this information is on the model itself. Dot winner equals message dot winner. Message dot winner is a pointer to a bool, so use it as a pointer. Don't use the direct value. Yep. Who the winner in is and why they won. It is dot y over is there, y over is not equal to nil. Go to message dot y over. Okay, we have changed the state, update game state and over reasons. Update game state and game winner. Cool. And those are the only handlers we have to define at the end. Call this, and when the socket closes, we need to change the model. Yeah, m dot status will be equal to status select game type. Yep, cool. And also call the view method on this. Cool. Shit, I guess this is cool. We have written how, like, all the socket stuff correctly. I feel like, at least I feel like we have written all the socket stuff correctly. Now we have to write down what happens, like how are the things update. Shit, this is more. This is shit, this is going to take time. Uh, Game loading page. Nothing happens on game loading page. Nope, we don't have to capture any keys, but game active page. If we press something, m dot status equals status active. Mm, Status is play. If we are playing a game, then what do we have to see? What do we see? We will be listening for moves. Shit. Yep. This we will have a text box in which the move that we are playing is going to be displayed. So we have to update our model again. Move will come here. It's going to be a string. Which will run when we press enter. Okay, if no, not okay. Yes, if the user presses Q and thing, then just like quit. But I guess that is not handled here. Hmm. If if msg dot string equals like Q or escape, then quit. Cool. Very cool, but there is some error, invalid operation. Why is this? Because we have to call the string. Cool. So we don't have to check for this. Cool. And not here. Cool. But if user presses any of the keys A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, then shit. Do we have to put this manually? I guess we have to put the strings manually. A, comma, B, like this. Do something. Shit, can we not give a list or something? This is a way of giving list. A, B, C, D, the LSP should kick in. Not the LSP, but AI. M dot move dot string. M dot move plus equals the string that was pressed, or these things, or a number 1, 2, not 9, yeah, 1 to 8. Just concatenate. And in case of enter, that is we want to play this move. In this case, we want to make a WebSocket request to the backend to play this move. Okay, so where helper function, but we do not have the WebSocket. Shit, we do not have the WebSocket object. We do not have the WebSocket object. Therefore, we need to add the WebSocket object to the model itself so that it is accessible by other things. And the WebSocket object is this thing, CONN, and the type of this thing is a pointer to a WebSocket dot connection, which we can just add to our model here. We can call it socket, whose type will be WebSocket dot connection. WebSocket undefined because we have to import WebSocket just like we do here. It imported and not used, like legit I'm using it here. Yeah, both are small. Pointed to a WebSocket connection, and when a connection is established, do here, go to m, like this, m dot socket equals connection. Cool, that looks cool. Okay, now why did we add this here? Because we want to access this socket later on when we press enter to send a request to the backend that we want to make a move. Send move. Whenever we press enter, we need a function which has access to the socket and the move. So we can just write a function which handles this. Helper function send move. This thing takes in move, which is a string, and also socket, which is a WebSocket connection. WebSocket which needs to be imported. Shit, we can do this on separate lines. That's cool. Okay, WebSocket dot write message is the function. Okay, write message. What do we need to write? Shit, there is a format to tell the backend that a move has been made, and the format is go to backend APIs. Yes. Now when the response comes in, get player color. No. Move format is this. All of this is optional. This is optional. This is the main thing. Yep, we have to send a object which is like this, where the key is a move Okay, so JSON. So we will convert our move into a JSON object and convert that into a string, I guess. For which we can define a struct again, type uh, socket move request. This is a struct which has a move of type string. Helper, cool. Move struct equals uh, variable move. Struct will be of type socket move request, which is going to have the move. This is not JavaScript. Expected operand found. This shit. Missing comma. How were we defining the structure in it? With these things. Okay. Cool. Declared and not used. We need a comma. We don't even need all this. Cool. We have our structure which we need to send, and right, this takes in message type text message. Okay, so there are multiple message types. Dot text message JSON. Message type is message, and convert into byte this move struct. Can we? Yeah, we cannot do this. JSON dot convert a struct to string in Go, like, which can be parsed by JSON. Several ways. There are several ways using empty data interchange. JSON, yes, JSON Marshall, JSON dot Marshall. Okay. Makes sense because there is also the unmarshal function. JSON dot Marshall move struct. Okay, shit. Multiple values are returned. What does this thing? This returns a byte thing or an error. Move is string, comma, error equals JSON dot Marshall, this thing, and here if error is not equal to, if error equals nil, then we can send this thing. But shit, declared but not used, it is going to be used here. Move string. Okay, send a move to the backend and call this whenever enter is pressed. Here, send move, call this function dot pocket. Good, good. And when the response of this moves comes in, it will be handled by the socket on message handler, which is cool. Okay. And is there anything else that we need to handle in this state when a game is going on? I guess not. Okay. Now the end game page. Yeah, no, we don't need to handle anything on the end game page also. Yes, I guess we can add a R button handler in game page if m dot status equals status end game. Yep, and switch msg dot string if the thing that is pressed is R small or capital whatever, then m dot status equals status select game type. Okay, cool. Okay, and now the main thing, view. Yes, sure. Loading game, what to print when the game is loading, put text in center and take control. Yep, all of that comes later on. Now game active page if m dot status, how do we show this thing? Equals status play if we are actually playing a game right now, and also game end page if m dot status equals status end game. If the game has ended, what to show them? If the game has ended, then s plus equals, we can just say fmt dot s printf. What is the suggestion here? Red game over plus winner. Winner is with green color, with green color. There are going to be two strings here, it seems like. Yep. Second one is styles green dot render. Second is m dot shade. Okay, depending on who won. Yep, there are not going to be two strings here. msg equals empty string if m dot mirror then winner, then ms message is you won. Else, which comes on the same line, else message is you lost. And we can even color it right here. Cool. Styles green, this would be green. Render styles red, when you lost it would be red. Cool. And game over thing would be blue. Cool. Game over page is done, and active page, shit, active page, we need something to print on the active page, that is the page on which the game is running. We can divide it into two parts. One is if this is our screen, then at the top we will have our board itself, and below the board we will have our like we will display time and everything else later on, but right now we will have our board at the top and our input text box at the bottom. And also, shit, how do we handle, we have not written a handler. If you press backspace, is backspace, what happens then? m.move.move, a change it to starting, just remove the last character. If move length of this thing is greater than 0, only then do this. Makes sense so much. Okay, cool. And if the length is 0 or smaller, don't do anything. And also, after we have made a move, here m go to m dot move, make it empty. Yep, empty. And also here, let's for now not have a thing to display the board but only the moves, which is a bit easier to implement and we can build on top of it later on in some time. Model model yep, model view, we have to write view active page. If the page is active, so we can just say m plus equals s fmt dot s printf. What is all this? Your turn. In blue, and s plus equals fmt or plus equals m dot m dot move. Okay, this should work. Theoretically speaking, this should work. Start the backend. Okay, shit, what are the changes I made here? Somehow I've made some changes here. Cool. TUI, go run this. Okay, and nothing happens. Okay, something is happening. Cool. If you press nothing on the backend, rapid, I did press enter and there is nothing here. There was a request to play an anonymous game on the backend. Cool, that is cool. And we have not, shit, this should be working. Loading status, we should be seeing loading page. We are not seeing the loading page. A request was sent to the backend to start a connection. WebSocket. Yep, we did do this. So okay, shit, we are never setting. We are setting like legit. We are setting the status right here. Okay. On message handler. After this, okay, and go to m and dot view. Call this to update what is being shown. Is that okay? That is perfectly okay. Cool. Quit. Go run rapid game. Shit, nothing. Okay, anyways, let's start to make try to make another connection. Go run from here rapid, and okay, nothing, even though the back end has started a game already. On was okay. Wait. One run back, start the backend, quit, nothing, cool. One run back. Okay, backend is running. Go run this rapid game. I did press enter. Okay, go run this, enter, nothing. And yep, on the backend we have seen that we are seeing that the that a game has started between two users, but we don't see that thing here. Or I guess is view is not working. View is not working. We should call update game state game update with nil wherever we are calling view. Okay, quit. And also, yep, opponent left, then the other anonymous user, and this thing has won the game. Yep, that is a very crazy user ID. Go run this anonymous. Okay, enter. Yep, anonymous user wants to play a game. Go run this, enter. Shit, nothing again, even though the game has started on the back end. And it would be also pretty cool to add colors here in the backend logs. Yeah, okay. So what is happening is I am using bubble tea to make a TUI in Go. I have a Go routine which updates the model. I want to share. If I press enter multiple times, then share. This thing is starts multiple connections, which is crazy. Starting shit. That is actually pretty crazy. We can start multiple connections, and a user can play a game with themselves multiple times, which is messed up. Which is messed up. Which is messed up. Which means we are not. Something is wrong. Update, new view, update. When the game status is play only, then enter, which means the game status is this thing. Game status is not changing. Yep. Game status is not changing. Game status should change. which we are legit changing here. Go to this and call this. This is happening, like everything here is happening. And we are also calling update with nil. Let's explain the problem to Claude. I'm using bubble tea to make a TUI in Go. I have a Go routine which updates the model. Re I want the changes to be visible by bubble tea and use the updated model to call view method on. Okay. You cannot directly mutate the model. Shit. The correct way is to send a message to bubble tea using program.send. Okay. Okay. Define a message type. Shit. And handle that message. New score int. Okay. P dot send. What is P? P is the program. Okay, okay. P is a program. P is a program. P is the program. Send that thing. Update state message. This thing, and on the in the update function, message dot type. If the type is update state message, which is a struct. Okay, okay. There now we have to define all the types of updates that we. There is updation of the game state. Yep, we are updating at some point the game state, or we can send the whole shit. Yep, that would make sense. Instead of shit, make that would make sense. We do have access to the latest model here, I hope. Do we have access to the latest model here? Let's just suppose that we do have access to the latest model here. So whenever we do need access to the latest model here, yes, we do need access to the latest model here. What if we are not getting the latest model? I think we might not be getting the latest model here. Therefore, okay, what are the kinds of updates that we are making? One is game state update. Yep, game state update, which, yes, one is game state update, game state update. Start a WebSocket connection, but only started when we press enter from there, from that. Start a socket if not time equal to 0, but if go to m dot status equals yep, if we are in the selection state, only then start again. Yeah, we should not check. we need access to this prog variable inside a go routine. Can we use a channel here? Um, I don't think so. I have a variable inside the main function which I want to be accessible by a function, by a guru team, but I cannot pass that variable directly to the routine. How do I make it? By making it a global variable, I guess. A variable named prog of type pointed to a T program. Prog type pointed to a T dot program. And I guess we can just use this same. Do we have access to prog here? We do have access to prog here. Cool. Okay. We do have access to prog here. Now we can define different kind of custom T messages dot go package main. Okay, this needs a struct. We don't need to import anything. Struct or type name would be make move make move T message. Struct, this would have a single move of type string or a single move of type 4 integers. Yes, that is one thing. And type change status T message would also be a struct, and status type status. Cool. Status is of type status. Very cool. And in the WebSocket, whenever we do something, cool. Here we are changing the status. Instead of doing that, we can say prog dot send message t dot quit message change status type status. A new status is status loading. Very cool. And here we are updating connection, the socket. We need one more custom T message for this. Type not change but update socket T message. Struct socket is of type WebSocket, which we have to import. Import WebSocket from GitHub Gorillas. Cool. Under custom T message, and we can here call program dot send update socket T message. Cool. And here we are updating the whole game object. Update game object message is what we need here. Type update game object T message struct game object type game shade game struct not object game struct. Why is this thing still named game object here? Struct. We have to make changes to the model and rename game object game struct. Cool. Yep, program dot send update game is struct. Cool. three we have defined three kinds of new messages. Cool. Custom messages. And now here, depending on the status, how do we get the state? Can we use the program prog thing dot model quit wait run? No, we do not get access to the model like this. It's fine. Fine. This is fine. Okay. Prog dot send update change status t message, and the new status should be status play opponent name and color. Opponent name and color type update opponent name. Or instead of doing all of these calls manually or separately, we could have a function stakes in the model type update model t message struct model of type model, and we can just use this thing instead. We can just use this thing instead. Can we just use this thing instead? Game struct. Game struct. Okay, shared. Yes. And we are supposing that this pointer m gives us the latest model. Now we have made changes to the actual model which we do not want to do, or we want to do. Proc dot send update model to m. This is our model. I guess that is fine. We'll have to change the update game object there. Yep. Substitute object with struct globally. Cool. And the same thing here. Substitute object with struct globally. And we have to write a handler function for the same thing. Yep, here update case t dot uh not t dot message type. Yep, message type if case update model t message, then return the new model with nil. Okay, this should work. Hopefully, this should work. Stop the backend, run the backend again. Q, go run this. Rapid enter loading game. Let's go. Go run. Okay, enter. Your turn. Okay, both the players see it as their own turn. E2 to E4. Enter. What do we see on the backend? I guess the wrong player made the move. E2 to E4. We don't see anything. We do not see anything. But this is much better than anything else. Just to make feel better, I want to ask what is Git? Shit. Git is like, uh, there is no full form for Git. Git is just something you use for tracking what you have been doing on your object. It is like on your code base. It is like taking a screenshot of your code base at times that you want. And screenshot in terms of Git is called a commit. So pretty cool. But okay, color. Shade. Yes, makes sense. Makes sense. Depending on the color, we have to display different things on the screen. Active game page. Your it is not always your turn, depending on the color. If model dot move number, okay, shit. Let's say const color equals const color equals depending on the move number. Game struct dot move number remainder with 2. Don't we have ternary operators in Go? We do not have ternary operators in Go, which is crazy. If model dot game struct dot move number, if m dot game struct dot move number remainder with, this is not a boolean. Okay, this is not C++, I guess. If this thing equals 1, the remainder is 1, that is odd move. At the start, game number is equal to 0, so this means it is black player's turn. Color equals black, or I guess you can just say black, yes. Else color equals white. Now if color equals m dot color, shit, there is no m dot color. There is m dot game struct dot color. If it is our chance, then do print this. Else say empty dot is printf in red opponents. Yeah, cool. Looks good enough. Yo, shit. What are you working on right now? What kind of program is it? This is like I have built a backend for chess, which is cool. And right now I have written a very minimalistic front end for it also, which you can like run on your browser. Now I am writing a TUI for it so that you can play chess from your terminal, and the TUI is built using Go. Cool. And yes, I'm just figuring out how to do this, how to build your TUI in Go. Okay, anonymous connection was closed. Cool. Go run. Go run this. I guess making this full screen is not cool. I want to change the opacity, and I said guess the reload key is, what is the reload key? Reload. Ghosty config. How do we reload? Command shift comma. Command shift does not work. Command shift comma does not work. It is being captured by something else, probably aerospace. Config aerospace. The light is acting crazy. Command shift comma. Command shift semicolon. No. Semicolon. No. Shit. Cool. Okay, I'll be right back. I have to go to the washroom. Yep, just 1 minute, and I'll be right back. And I'm back. Pretty cool. How much time you think it would take to finish the basic backend, frontend, stuff to successfully complete this? Okay, backend, frontend, and other stuff is almost completed. At least, mm, okay, the minimal viable product is ready. The backend is ready. You can start game, play a game, save it on the back end, create your account, and everything that is ready. There is also a front end for the same thing. And this other stuff, I guess, by that you mean the TUI. The TUI, I suppose, is going to be ready by tomorrow. That is my estimate. Then the remaining thing would be to fix some bugs which are there, and fix some bugs. We can make the front end more beautiful and also deploy this so that anyone can play this game. And for front end, there is just the basic thing. You will type in the name of the website and .com or something, and you will be able to play it. But for the for the TUI, the way that I want to deploy it is that you can just run SSH to some server, some like URL, enter it, and you will be redirected to the TUI. And where did the inspiration for this came from? It came from terminal.shop, which is a place you can order coffee from. Like right now here, you are now redirected to a TUI, and from here you can just order coffee, which is crazy. Yeah. So I want something like this for the TUI. Cool. So, opponent's turn. This is what both of them are saying, which is messed up. Why are both of them saying that it is the opponent's turn and not their own? There is some problem with this. The color is always, yeah, yep. There must have been a message sent from this place which updated the color. Status, yep, status, opponent name. Yes, let's also display the opponent name, which would be more insightful. Model here with your turn and opponent's turn, and also display the opponent's name plus equals. Hmm. Playing with, we do not need any colors here. Playing with can come in the string itself here. M dot struct without opponent name. Okay. Go run this. Enter. Enter. Playing with empty, which means directly, which means this WebSocket is not updating anything, or it is updating these things, but then later on when we are calling this prog function, it is not working. How do we jump with? Okay, shit, that is a lot of love you're sending me. Time, how much days, week, month? Wait, from the start. This today, I think is stream number. Okay, first of all, I didn't code every day, but I have worked on this for about 2 months now. At the start of, I started working on this in February, at the start of February. And so about 2 months, but I didn't code every day. And all of the things that I have done are in a stream, on a stream, and this TUI stream, this is stream number, wait, I think this is TUI stream number 3, probably. This is stream number 3 for the TUI, and there is other another playlist where I am coding the whole backend and the front end, and that one I think has 32 or 33 streams, which combined you can take as like 40 days. 40 days for this, but probably you can do it faster if you are more consistent than I have been. So yeah, 40 days. But the plus point of this is that this became very complex. This whole thing became very complex. Let me show you. There is a single function, this single file here, which is 800 lines long. This tests if a move which is made right now, if that is okay or not, and whether the game has ended or not. This function is move okay function. This was very complicated to write. I think this is the most complicated function I have written here. Yep, this takes in the board, the move which was made, the color of the player who made the move, and some special flags used for castling rights and stuff. Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. This got complicated. Uh, shit. There are faults and couple reads. Shit. I guess you make jokes, and this is a good one. Mm, okay. So the problem is we are not updating this M object, but we not calling this okay thing was how to jump between brackets in and I think p percentage. Okay, go to this and percent. Yes. So yep, this thing is at the end of the for loops, which means we are calling this all the time. We are calling this always. So what is the problem? Yes. And also here we are waiting for the message. But if there is no message, then nothing would happen. We are doing socket dot close and return. No. Do is there ever return? Cool. Shit, that might be the problem. We might not. We might be just returning. Enter. Cool. Enter. Playing with no one. Why did we not get the starting message? Means there is no console.log. Only dot printf print msg message dot string, no, or just print message received. Let's see. Go run, go run, enter, enter. Okay, there was a little flash of something here. There was a little flash. Okay, shit, cool thing. Look at this. Here, when we are on the log screen, let's say I start a game here on the log window, and here we start another TUI session. So right now a game is running here on the terminal window and the log window. They look exactly the same because they are exactly the same, but they have their own sessions. And if I close a session here by pressing Q, I've closed the session which was running on the log window, which was playing the game with the session running on the terminal window. And if we go back to the terminal window, the session is lost. So at least we are handling closing of connection, which is cool. Okay, at least we are handling closing of connection. Hmm. Mm, maybe we can change our model to have a message which is persistent and we can see. Yep, for debugging purposes, our model is going to have a message debug. Message is going to be a string which is going to be visible no matter what you do. S plus equal m dot message, and the message is going to be updated. Or we can have a custom thing type message key message struct message of type string, and here in the model update update t message and case update message t message and return msg no m dot message equals msg dot message return. Cool. Let's update this. But we are not shit. Yes, the WebSocket is not updating the message here. Game start message. Here handle start of game. Yep. Prog dot send message update message t message message game started, and here move wait cool. Go run this, quit, go run this. Message is not there, none of the message is there. If the model shared, probably the model is messing up. The view function is right, we are always adding this message. I'm not a status. Yep, update stuff. Update message t message. message dot type, and we are calling this update also here. Program dot send, program dot send, program dot send, program dot send update model. Okay, so which means we are not running this. Program dot send game is started. Okay, yes, which means we are not running this, which means got a message. Okay, how is this thing? Okay, backend messed up something. The go routines end with the main program. They should end with the main program. Yes. So why was there a persistent connection? Shit. Hello. What do you mean if you are more? Which means you should be more consistent. Yep. It has been a long time. You were the one who suggested to write the TUI in Go. I'm writing the TUI in Go, and I've learned that there are things called coroutines, uh, Go routines. There are things called channels, and yeah, Go has its own stuff. There is no ternary statement in Go, which is crazy. Mm, hmm, hmm. Go run loading game. Go run. Yep, these two players are playing with each other, but shit, we don't see anything. The status is being changed. Update model. If we do here, if we update the message equals hello, does that work? And also model. Yep, this piece of code should display something. The message coroutines and go routines are quite nice to work with. Yep. um, and for routines they are more like buffers, like uh, for channels they are more like buffers, I think. I don't know much about channels, but I guess they are like buffers. And go routines are cool. Go routines, mm, it is the go runtime, which is pretending or handling the threads. And so you have like two layers of threads. There is the go layer, which is being controlled by the go runtime, right? And there are some like, let's say, m number of threads here at this layer. And then there is the os layer, which has n number of threads, and this m is greater then n. So from the programmer's point of view, you are getting m number of threads, which is a higher number, using smaller number of OS level threads. So that is pretty cool, because creating and switching between OS level threads is high work, is not very efficient, but switching between two threads which are at the language level is easier. And I think this is called MN mapping or something like this. Like the beam VM, okay, the go routines are lighter than traditional threads, so you can swap thousands of them without the cost of performance as compared to spawning threads. Yup. I think the idea of runtime controlling the threads is inspired by the Beam VM. Okay, I don't know what Beam VM is. At least that is the oldest thing I know which does it. Okay, if someone else did it before, I don't know. Beam VM is something process based. And when was this thing created? Beyond shade. Okay, beyond Strostro. Shit, that is crazy. He is everywhere, I guess. Okay, shit, but we do not see the message here. Mm, in the TUI, the library that I'm using this for this have two names. What does in a name mean? Your uh, yep, the library that I'm using for this is bubble tea with lip gloss, which is used for showing colors on the terminal. And this one for WebSockets. And lip gloss also places your text in the middle of the screen. If you want it to, it can place your text wherever. You give it the height and the width and say that you want the text to be centered or bottom or anywhere, wherever you want. Put text in center and take control of the whole terminal. Yep. We don't see the message. Okay, so the message is not getting updated, and the only functions which are updating the message are this one. And and yes, just this thing, and this is the only place where the message is being updated. And after this we are not running this, which means something is wrong. Okay, yep, charging. But we are able to change the status variable in the model. uh, Status play. So yep, okay, shit, this line of code is running because shit. Okay, okay. uh, no, this is not running. Go message dot message game started. Search for a legit dot and then message. These are the only two places. Yep, these are the only two places. Again, instead of message, I guess having this as an integer would be better compared to a string. And then in the view, message equals message. End. Okay, cool. I was fearing, but you really did choose the hardest one. Shit, okay, this is more difficult. Bubble tea. I don't know. It does not even have a proper documentation. I had to go through the source code to see, so I almost never used it. Also, I avoid it as much as I can. Shit, I mean, it is working fine for me. Uh, but yes, it is difficult to use. Okay, yep, this is error. What we could do here is not do this, and not do this, and update game model fog dot go to m dot message plus plus. Cool. Let's see. Hmm. Model 175. S plus equals to message. Yes, it is possible. fmt dot s printf a single digit, nothing else, and m dot message. Go run. Go run this. Okay, message is 0. It is 1 now here. It is 2 here. In both the places, it is 2, which means okay, whenever I press enter, this thing changes. Hmm. On pressing enter, this thing changes. Shit. On open handler, this thing equals 2. On message handler, which seemingly is not running somehow. Yes. P3 means this. This 3 means this. Shit. Run, enter. Okay. Yes, every time I'm pressing enter, I'm getting a response somehow, which I should not be getting. This whole thing is running. The thing in the for part. Or this shade. Or this is running. Because our old connection is closing and a new one is starting. No, we should be seeing that on the back end if that was happening. But it is not happening. The fault. Ah, shit. This thing is running somehow. Type of message is a list of bytes in the model. Change this to byte and yep, don't use this. And s plus equals m dot, which is not cool, but this is okay. And WebSocket, yep, there is error. Here, go to m dot message equals msg. Okay, we did receive this whole thing. Okay, which is pretty cool. Okay, okay, okay. The problem is in the part that we are unable to parse this thing properly. Shit, that is the problem. We are not able to parse this. That probably is the problem. Okay. I have a string like this in Go. How do I parse it into JSON? JSON. Unmarked shell is the function that we have to use. Are we not? We are using unmarked shell. We are using unmarked shell. We are using unmarked shell. Okay, and when I representer invalid move format. Cool. Invalid move format. Cool, 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 cool. We are getting a message. Yes, cool. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Because we are sending a move. Okay. We are not able to parse this MSG and Mars shell. This is already a byte of strings into GS which has type this. Okay. We have to say JSON like this. Color opening name. And the error here or warning is struct tag struct field start as JSON tag but is not exported, whatever that means. And same has to be done with all of these. Error message over y over winner move wide time left. Like time left. Cool. And game no. Okay, this should maybe work. I don't know. Let's see. to run this. Enter, enter. Still, we are still not able to read this. Socket. Start a game, switch. Go to message type selected. No, we don't need that. Cool. Message equals game started, but shit. Convert this. Winner true. Shit. Game started. That is cool. So why don't we have all this other stuff? Go to m dot. We are changing the status. Game struct opponent name is empty. Unmarshal. Yep. Opponent name is empty, and all of this is empty. OPPO. NENT opponent name. We get start, color, and opponent name. Start, color, opponent name, and start, color, opponent name. Mm, Correct tag. What is this? Unmarshal this thing into this. If no error, then cool. Otherwise, okay, shit. If you don't want to define a struct, you can unmarshal into a map. I can define a struct, no problem with that. But unmarshal is not working. Oh, shit. This is just not working. We are not what if use this thing here manually. Shit. Like this. Cool. And convert this into a list of bytes. what happens now? Go this, quit, go, run this, enter. Still, we are not able to unmarshal the thing. Maybe the problem is more internal. Just maybe. Okay, if m dot message equals message dot color, convert this into a list of byte. Okay, so, that is not the problem. Message is actually empty. Message is actually empty. Convert into byte if this thing equals uh, JSON color, field color, string. And then access those things like, wait, with capital. Shit, this might be it. Make jar capital N and single character, press tilde thing. Okay, shit, that was the error, or like whatever this is. Ah, shit. Okay, 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 and here. Shit. Shit, that might actually have been it. Go run this, quit, go run, start again. Why do both of them say it is your turn? That is a bit messed up. Playing with anonymous, and let's also say playing as who. Playing with anonymous active game page. Playing as percentage, new line, color. No, not color, but m dot game struct dot color. Playing as white. This one is also playing as white somehow, which is a bit messed up. This message dot color. Color is small case color. Color string. Game struct color equals color, and this color is also a string. Go to m dot message equals convert into string of bytes fmt dot s printf percentage and message dot color. Color for this player is white and color for this player is white, which is messed up. Replace this with pend f. Takes in a format. Example would be cool. Append f formats string according to a format specifier. Appends the result to the append f in Go. FMT FM. Okay, that means why is message dot color white? It is white because of this shit. Give here MSG, which is already a list of byte. Shit. Okay, it is working. It is actually working at this point, which is cool. Which is cool. Here you can see on one side I see it is your turn, you are playing as white, and on the other we see opponent's turn, black with his cool. Okay, we can fix up the model a little bit, probably a good idea. No, keep the playing as thing there, playing as this, playing with, then playing as, then depending, yeah, accordingly, your turn or opponent's turn. And no message variable for now, no message variable for now. Go run this, go run this, start a game, loading, start a game. You are playing as white, this other person is playing as black. E2, E4, are we able to make a move? Send. Nope, the move was not sent to the backend. But this is a good enough point to leave, and we can continue tomorrow. Wait, this was cool. This is cool. You know, get status. Git add everything here. Git commit feature TUI socket starting a game. It is very cool. Get push origin main. Cool. And yep, and that would be it for today. Wait, that would be it for today. And yeah, that would be it. Thank you for being here. Bye.